Hello, my name is Madison Smith, and this is my capstone project titled Nature-Based Activity and Education Programming to Promote Health and Wellbeing in Older Adults. To introduce my capstone project, my ACOT concentration areas were program development and education, and I sought to implement these two concentration areas with the older adult population. I did so at the Ecumenical Senior Center in Kalamazoo, Michigan. The Ecumenical Senior Center is a free and nonprofit day center in Kalamazoo, serving older adults in the community. They primarily serve Black elders, and many of whom are underserved and lower income in the Kalamazoo area, and they provide services, activities, and resources to help these seniors improve their quality of life. My site mentor was Tim Barnes, the executive director of the Ecumenical Center, and my supplemental mentor was Charlene Harkness, the operations coordinator. I also had a special community partnership with the Kalamazoo Valley Community College Valley Hub Food Innovation Center. They supported us in providing a tour and an activity for the seniors, which I'll talk about a little bit later. To review my abstract, I was interested in the impacts of nature on physical and mental health and applying those impacts to the older adult population. As we know, older adults are susceptible to loneliness, depression, social isolation, decreased physical activity, all of which can be detrimental to their health, especially as they go through the aging process. I sought to increase the feelings of connectedness to nature in order to enable the seniors to participate in nature activities and experiences for the health benefits. And I wanted to increase their connectedness to nature measured by the inclusion of nature in self-scale, which I have attached in Appendix A. Brief results of the program included development of a nature, art, and activity program, as well as increased feelings of connectedness to nature for some of the seniors. For my literature review, I first dove into the needs of older adults. Like I mentioned before, older adults typically do not reach that 150 minutes of recommended physical activity per week, which are extremely important for helping them maintain independence and the ability to care for themselves. And older adults are susceptible to loneliness and social isolation, which can lead to depression and other mental health concerns. On the other hand, the role of nature in health is significantly supported by the literature in terms of mental health benefits, including better attention, less stress and anxiety, and more relaxation, as well as physical health benefits, including lower blood pressure, greater musculoskeletal strength, and overall better and healthier habits. And then participating in nature also promotes social engagement, feelings of social connectedness, creativity, and feelings of achievement as well. And then I weaved OT's role into both of these topics, and I discussed occupational therapy's role in productive aging, promoting physical health and mental health in order to help older adults maintain their independence. And I also discussed occupational therapy's role in health promotion and management, and I achieved this from a group standpoint for this project. For my needs assessment, I had conversations with Tim, Charlene, and some Ecumenical Center seniors, as well as individuals from the Kalamazoo community. Strengths of this capstone project included a previous relationship between the Ecumenical Senior Center and Western Michigan's occupational therapy program. I found it extremely helpful that I had been acquainted with some of the seniors before, that I was able to gain a better sense of their interests and their past experiences. The Ecumenical Senior Center's mission also strongly aligns with the values of occupational therapy, as the center's mission is to provide services, resources, and activities to older citizens in the Kalamazoo area in order to enhance their quality of life. Some weaknesses of the project and the program included accessibility concerns, overall being that the capstone occurred during winter in Michigan. It was icy outside and not accessible to take all of the older adults outdoors if they had mobility challenges, as well as the potential for decreased engagement, just as this was a new and novel program that I was bringing to the table. Opportunities were plentiful, including transportation that was available to the seniors at no cost, so that we were able to access different community opportunities, like the Kalamazoo Valley Community College Valley Hub that I mentioned earlier, as well as many other areas and activities in the Kalamazoo community that support the programming. And threats somewhat related to weaknesses overall were safety of participating in nature experiences, especially for individuals that hadn't done so before. This is a brief overview of my objectives, which included creating educational handouts on health benefits of nature, informally surveying participants to understand their interests, and then designing and leading group sessions on physical and mental health benefits of nature, as well as planning and leading a community-based experiential learning opportunity. So to achieve these objectives, I created a 4-week-long program. Each session was about 1.5 to 2 hours, and there was an educational component and an activity associated with each of the program's sessions. The first 3 sessions took place at the Ecumenical Senior Center. The seniors received a handout either on physical health benefits of nature, mental health benefits, or accessibility and a safety checklist. And they participated in several activities, including painting flower pots, decorating garden stakes with positive messages to plant at their new senior center, as well as making bird feeders. The 4th and final experiential learning opportunity was at the Kalamazoo Valley Hub Food Innovation Center. They went on a tour. They learned about sustainable horticulture and food systems in the community, and learned how to propagate and transplant a houseplant, which they then planted in their flower pots from the first session. I also created an educational handout to supplement each of the first 3 sessions and spent time visiting with the seniors before I implemented the program and chose the topics to understand what they would be interested in doing. Implications of the capstone included positive changes in connectedness to nature. I will go over this further in the next few slides. Participation and enjoyment also were a huge implication. All of the seniors participated in the activities and voiced that they really enjoyed each of the activities especially, and shared that they would like to continue participating in these things after the project was over, which leads into my next point of ongoing activities at the Ecumenical Senior Center. Tim and Charlene are interested in leading different activities from this program for the seniors in the future. And I was fortunate to be able to leave materials for each of the activities at the center due to fundraising that I completed as part of the Capstone project. This capstone also supports OT's role in health promotion through nature and demonstrated the effectiveness of using the therapeutic effects of nature for the older adult population in a group setting and more of a preventative and health promotion and management nature. In conclusion, from the inclusion of nature and self-scale, I measured some changes in connectedness to nature, with 4 out of 12 seniors demonstrating an increase in their feelings of connectedness, 7 out of 12 did have no change, and 1 out of 12 had a decrease in feelings of connectedness to nature. Lessons learned include a myriad of nature-based interventions and activities that I've learned from the literature and how to implement them. But I've also learned an incredible amount about leading groups, about applying Cole's 7 steps to leading groups, and also adapting to group dynamics on the spot and being able to change the trajectory of a group or edit the group in a way that serves everyone in possibly ways that I wasn't anticipating. I also learned about community support and how beneficial community organizations are and how hard they work to support older adults in the Kalamazoo community. The Ecumenical Center has community support through a lot of organizations that are really dedicated to promoting positive aging. Future work for this program or for another capstone could hopefully include weekly outings for the older adults. Like I said, being in Michigan, it was difficult to create outdoor programs during the winter months, but I think the seniors would really enjoy a weekly outing based on their responses to this program. A longer program would also be beneficial for them, and I think they would enjoy having even a weekly nature activity that could be supported through the Ecumenical Center staff or another student. And then other outcome measures could be explored to look more into specific physical or mental health attributes. This is Appendix A, the inclusion of nature in self-scale, which is a reference from a Schultz article from 2002. So before and after completing the 4-week program, the seniors selected which of these 7 diagrams represented their feelings of connectedness to nature. This is Appendix B, a handout I created on nature's impact on health, physical health. This is Appendix C, a handout I created on nature's impact on mental health. And Appendix D is a handout on accessing nature in different intensities, different ways, and also a safety and accessibility checklist. Thank you very much for your time.